So our next speaker is a staff data engineer at GitLab, coming from beautiful country of Serbia, and giving, yay, we have some Serbians here. Given his lengthy experience with everything data related, you can just put to Google #data, #data engineer, and #data analytics, and you will find him. Please welcome to the stage Radovan Bacovic.
Stock, is it correct?
Yes, excellent.
Good day, Budapest. Dobar dan, Budapest. My name is Radovan Bacovic, and if you remember, a few years back, 2019, 2018, something like that, I sit down and type on my favorite computer and see advertised for a great, nice conference in lovely Budapest. It's called Crunch Conference. Desperately, I want to get there, and somehow I failed because of probably some private reasons. And after that, Corona started and all this bad stuff, so people escape to virtual world. Luckily for us, we are back, and finally, I'm here for the first time. Luckily for me, I don't know for you, as a speaker. You see the logo, you see the title, you see my name. What I plan to do today, I want to guide you and through you how we do beautiful things in our data team in company GitLab.com with some help of DevOps, open sources, and all remote approach. So, what we are doing actually. And we are using our product, which we are using to build our product, to build our data product, to analyze the data from our platform, And something is wrong with this sentence. I would say it's very, very confusing in the beginning. It's recursive all the time, still confusing at the end, but it's 100% true. How? Why? I will show you. Let's jump in and see what we have. Of course, my company is called GitLab. Maybe you heard, maybe not. But everything starts with a mission. If you have a company, you need to have a mission. And our mission said everyone can, in addition to that, I would say, everyone should contribute. In order to drive our business much, much better and faster, in an efficient manner, every day, we define a set of values. It's fairly easy to remember. Just say credit, and it stands for collaboration, results, efficiency, diversity, inclusion, belonging, iteration, and transparency. Well, if you have a company, you need to do something and sell something in order to survive. What we are doing? We are doing one thing, I would say. And this conference is attended, let's say, 2 years back or something. I would say we are creating DevOps product as a one monolith structure in order to support you in the development, software development life cycle in all stages. But these days, we have a DevSecOps platform deliver as a single application, make your life easier, and drive you faster from stages of software development lifecycle. One of my friends suggests to call this DevSecOps, but I think it's a little bit offensive for the public audience, right? Of course, you know this infinite loop. What we are supporting in our product? We're supporting development part, all stages in lovely development of software products. Then we have operational part. It's fully automated. And around that, in the latest stage, we provide security and compliance out of the box. In other words, if you're speaking, through plan, create, verify stage, up to package secure release, configure, monitor, govern, and manage, we have something for you with detailed explanation actually what our product can do for you. Or, if you're lazy like me, very humble explanation, 10 stages, what we can do for you, right? And I have no intention to kill you by PowerPoint slides. In that case, I just want to provide you the taste. What is our company and what team are doing? So let's show or share some numbers. Zero office is zero problem for us from early beginning. It means our operational model is fully remote from day one or day zero. Officially, we are the biggest all-remote company in the world. So really, no offices, no problem for us. We are doing 24/7 around the globe. 1,600 plus team members in more than 65 countries and regions around the globe. As I said, organically, naturally, we are a 24/7 company. And this means, literally, we are hiring in every corner around the earth, with very minor exceptions, because we're a public company, and then, unfortunately, some restrictions, right? Very, very proud of this number. 30+ million registered users from small, hot startups through well-known big enterprises government sector, non-government sector, academia, secret services, they're all using GitLab, both as on-prem and SaaS installation. These days, we have something called GitLab Dedicate, and it means you have your own private cloud with everything installed and ready to eat for you if you want to use our product. Great stuff. For more than 11 years, I think exactly 133 times in a row, no exceptions, no exclusion, no delays, we released the new cool feature of our software. And of course, you know what to expect. While I prepared this presentation, we changed the rule. Now, we release our code each third Thursday each month. Why? We don't want to overwhelm our guys and do some things on the weekend or during the public holidays. So yeah, let's make our life easier. Also, as per many sources, we are known as one of the most transparent, I'm brave to say, most transparent organization in the world. Why? Everything what we are doing, with very small exceptions, as I said, we are a public company, are located in GitLab Handbook. This is our single source of truth. Whatever we are doing, we put here. Officially, 2,000 web pages of text, unofficially 3-4 times more. Why this is important for you? Everything is public and open source. Feel free to steal it. Many organizations are doing that. Or go there and be inspired. One example, you have a startup. You're doing well. You need new colleagues. You can ask agency, and they will charge you a lot. Or you can ask your friend. That can be problematic. Or you can go to our handbook and see how we are executing the hiring process. My use case, for a few days back, we hired senior security data engineer. I was involved in the process. I did it for the first time in GitLab. I just go in handbook, because it's our single source of truth, and find everything I need. What we want to measure, what is the profile of candidate we want to know, what is the trajectory that candidate should have, what we should consider, and which angles we should cover. Everything is there. Even better, your company is going much better, you need to establish a data team. You can ask me, don't do that, I will charge you, or go there and see how to organize data team. What projects you should consider, what is the tech stack, actually how you should start, what is the role models, what is the role grades you should have in your organization in the data team. We'll talk about that later. So feel free to steal our knowledge from GitLab Handbook. And let's check the data team and join the ride. Also, we have our own mission. And it said, OK, we want to deliver trusted data on time in scalable fashion and try to avoid bankruptcy. Because these days, in the cloud era, it's fairly easy to turn on all resources and get rid out of money. In order to represent you better, what is the current status of our data platform, I will use something called data value pyramid. For purpose of this talk, it's laying down on one slide, but imagine it's a pyramid. So from all good data, from information, from knowledge and wisdom, and from the stage where we simply transform the data and look something in some fancy dashboard, we're moving to this side and want to know more about knowledge and wisdom. And it means we want to understand what's going on. If I press this button here, what will happen there? And also, data capability models, same story. Imagine this is a pyramid. We wanted to understand what's going on here and to go to the prescriptive stage, and then understand what is the mechanism of execution, what is the input in order to get the proper outcome. So that's our data capability model. In both cases, we are somewhere in between with strong intention to go here and make it better and better and better. On that road, we have a lot of challenges. So, as I said, our company is 11 years old, and our data team is a little bit younger. How to reconcile these two things? How to be more mature? How to grow fast in the data team in order to leverage our data usage? Or how to scale our data ecosystem and avoid bankruptcy, as I said. It's fairly easy to turn on resources, but how to be efficient? And still, if you have a plenty of components on the sky, how you should orchestrate, harmonize, and synchronize each bloody dot in your data ecosystem. And of course, this comes from leadership as usual, how to move fast, how to know where you're going and how to decrease time to market, right? Of course, as we are a recently formed team, how to increase visibility, both internally and externally. What does it mean? Internally, my colleagues are heavily using our data, and they meet me in person or virtual, and they said, I don't know you even exist. So what's the problem? We need to increase our visibility internally and say, okay, guys, we are so cool. We can do a lot of things for you, so please choose what use case we want to apply. Externally, I think this conference is a great example for all of us to be more visible. In our DNA is to be open source and open core, so it's more than important, vital for us to exchange information with the community. I mean, all of you. Then, as I said, action. In our DNA is open source, open core. We want to create to and for community. In other ways, also, we want to give a feedback from you, and you share your experience from you to steal your knowledge in our words and make our platform better and better and better. In order to do that, we are luckily good because we have our own product, and we can do something we call dog fooding. It's not about dog, it's not about the food. It's how you can use your product more and more and more in order to be efficient. So actually, we are using GitLab product to get the data from GitLab product and leverage data users to make that product better and better. So we have something called dog fooding. So we want to understand how we can use more features in our product. Well, one of the options are embrace and cultivate DevSecOps culture as a default value. What is DevOps? Is it a tool? Is it a methodology? Is it a philosophy? Is it kind of magic? Red, big, shiny button can sort out all of your problems? No. If you ask me, it's a little bit of everything, but in the real world, it should shift your mindset from old way of working to be more agile and proactive, because these times are uncertain. So this is probably the best option and culture you should embrace in order to sort out your problems. Well, I started in GitLab 2 years ago and come from another world, also one, let's say, well-known company. We had something called GitHub or GitFlow. It means we have master, develop, release, hotfix, and release branch, if I'm not wrong. And then we started in GitLab and say, yeah, you have master branch and you have short-lived development branch. What's going on with other type of branches? Because we had 4, now we have 2 of them. Answer is push frequently, because you can leverage usage of your product to be faster. Just move, because whatever you're releasing infinitely or non-stop, you have a very small increment. If you screw up something because life happens, you can easily get back. As per our value, we mentioned iteration. It means go in small steps, move very fast, and release even faster. On that road, don't forget to know where you're going and what your trajectory and direction where you're going is, because you can easily get lost. Also, dog fooding. Everything starts with an issue. Whatever we discuss, we want to put in issue. If you find a good reason to change as outcome of our discussion, we will create a merge request, and magic will happen there. Of course, there is no action without people. We recently formed a team, and we went through all 4 stages of team constitution, if I'm saying that properly. It means forming, storming, norming, and performing stage, where we can use our strength and our mutual effort to create nice, cool products and provide what is needed for the business, so they can be really data-driven organization. My favorite set of slides. Why? I'm data geek, I'm tech geek. Our tech stack. To be on the safe side, I said mainly. Can't think it's impossible 100% to have everything open source, but we try to stick with that. This is our tech stack, and this is how our data platform is created. You can recognize most of the components. I hope most of you are data geeks or data freaks like me. But let's decode it one by one. Cloud-first approach. There is something very hypey these days. It's called multi-cloud approach. But actually what we are doing, we combine GCP and AWS. Why? We're using Snowflake, you will see that later, as a single source of truth, and that database is hosted on the AWS resources. For some restrictions, multi-cloud is not allowed for Snowflake. If you want to extract the data, to do some analysis, some processing, you should go for AWS. Or if you need to automate it alert, as I did it, I use SNS from AWS, Lambda functions, and put notification on Slack. I was restricted. For most of the things, we're using GCP resources. Why? It's more native for us there. Unfortunately for us, we're using self-managed options just to avoid any kind of serious lock on the cloud. Even it's not 100% possible, right? You should agree with that. Then, we used Docker before for local development to have containerized environment. Terraform from HashiCorp to try to automate the process. Before it was really manual work with a lot of problems, or CI/CD pipeline from GitLab. Now what we are doing, we incorporated Terraform along with our pipelines to automate the process. Why? Because we're lazy. All the good Kubernetes hosted on GCP to run our platform. For me, personally, this is a really good approach because you easily scale both horizontally, vertically, scale in, scale out, scale up, whatever you want. Just need to pay. You need a lot of money and budget. Next one, all good Apache Airflow from Airbnb for orchestration. Well-known tool, very mature, I would say, and really great experience. From time to time, we want to stay in shape and update the latest version of Airflow or the one of the latest version to prevent any kind of vulnerabilities and make us faster. Out of the box, Fivetran and Stitch tools. Okay, I have some well-known data sources, define the source, define my target, pay to them, and I'm fine. For analytics, whatever happened on front-end and back-end part of our product, we are using Snowplow. This is cool. It's open source, it's free, you can host it, you have SaaS, whatever you want to have, out of the box. And it's really easy to go from Snowplow to ingest the data in your data warehouse. Worth to check. Some experimentation, what we are doing, because of course, everyone is using now lakehouses, data ware lake, something houses, whatever, very hypey stuff. But we did some exploration with Apache Iceberg file formats, and one of my favorite weapon of choice is called Apache Spark or PySpark. Really good, worth to try for unstructured, semi-structured data. If you have a huge amount of data, after the cleaning, you can easily go from Apache Spark to Snowplow. This part still is in experiment. Then, well, one and only Python, if you ask me, for custom-made extraction and any kind of one-time scripts or any kind of serious work. Permafrost, probably you didn't hear about that, but I'm a maintainer. This is open source created by GitLab Data team. And if you use Snowflake and you don't want to mess up with roles, grants, and privileges, in one YAML file, you should define all users and all roles and combination who can see what, and just automate the things in Airflow. This is how we are doing the stuff. This is cool, not only because I'm a maintainer, but this is cool because we have a declarative way to manage all role-based access control in Snowflake, which is also easy to change, easy to manage, and easy to put in any kind of automation of version scripts. dbt, I will talk about that later, for all kinds of transformation. Our single source of truth to transform the data. Singer.io, ETL framework, and Meltano as kind of ETL or ELT out of the box. At the end, you need a data warehouse. In our case, single source of truth is Snowflake. Also, new hype thing on the sky or must-have for this season is something called data observability. We are using Monte Carlo. We evaluated a couple of tools, and we decided to go for here. What is cool about Monte Carlo? We'll talk a bit later. But generally speaking, Monte Carlo has ability to catch all things which is subtly hidden in your data. Not only is pipeline broken or not, but also to catch the trend and behavior of your data. And it's done automatically using well-known machine learning or AI models these days. Data scientists are using Jupyter, Business, Sisense, and recently added Tableau as a single source of truth for data visualization. Also, this is actually decoding of our data platform. I would say good enough, but we are challenging each component here in order to find a better solution. So actively we are doing to replace something, because each 2-3 months I change this slide, not so dramatically, but maybe one component is going out, something drop in, and yeah, we are still happy because we can do the thing. Let's mention a couple of rising stars. I mean, dbt these days is mature enough, but for me it's super cool feature. Why? Everything you want to automate regarding the transformation of your data, you can do in one project, which is kind of easy to version, easy to manage, and very, very shareable and collaborative. Open source, also there is a paid SaaS version if you want, but we are using command line client, and everything is working very, very good for us. So everything from raw, preparation, and prod layer regarding transformation are done or doing in dbt. It means our analytics engineers have their own single source of truth. What questions dbt likes to answer? You know, before data engineers, machine learning engineers, AI engineers, data analytics, analytics engineers, business, look into the same data with a different perspective, and everything was so isolated in silos. For that reason, dbt tried to answer one question: how to transform the data and make the transformation collaborative and visible and transparent for the rest of the company. In that case, it's just SQL statement and Jinja templates and Python code, if you need it, out of the box. Great stuff about dbt documentation is generated out of the box based on definition from your YAML file. You can automate it very easily, and it can be business accessible. I like this tool. Meltano, also rising star. As I said, it's kind of ETL or ELT tool out of the box as a pipeline. You can incorporate it ingestion part, single IO part, dbt part, visualization part, and everything is running out of the box. Why this is cool? It's fully open source. If you establish a new company, you don't have large budgets for the data, maybe this can be a good option for you. Even better, this was created by our previous colleagues who was working in GitLab Data team, so they know what they're doing. Also, worth to check, I would say. Monte Carlo, you have data, it's fairly easy to create pipeline these days. And of course, you get some new problems. Quality of your data. Your data should be on time, your data should be trusted. How you know is it trusted or not? To check not null or primary key is not enough these days. Business is so high demanding. Our answer after evaluation is Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo learns pattern of behavior of your data through time. It needs maybe 2-3 weeks, and after that, you can leverage the power of Monte Carlo. If you think you're smarter than it, you can put your custom SQL statement as a part of check. And even better, this is natively communicated with the Slack. So actually, we have one Slack channel called Data Pipelines. If something failed or data is not okay, we are alerted immediately. So out-of-the-box solution, custom-made solution, easily to communicate with. Unfortunately, not open source. You should pay for that, but also worth to consider. Several or most popular databases can be easily connected with Monte Carlo, so we try to use it more and more and more. Permafrost, created by us, not so well known, but I want to promote it somehow, even here. As I said, if you use Snowflake, you're tired to do role-based access control, try Permafrost. We just released the new version two weeks back, and it's out-of-the-box solution. Define the YAML, define roles, define users, define cookie and see what, combine it, and forget that. Put it in Airflow or weapon by your choice for orchestration, and your work is done. If you're talking about lazy people and automation, one of our action, how to build a data platform, make it more efficient, is pipelines. This is also part of dog fooding. Why? Depends what we change in our code base or our repo, we execute automatically set of pipelines. We change dbt modeling. Okay, we will do dbt testing. We will run dbt SQL formatting. We will run compliance and read data checks and things like that. If you run Python, for instance, all linters, PyTests, automation, whatever you can think of is fully automated. If you change something in Snowflake, different set of pipelines are going there. Also, good tip for us, you know the pain if you want to develop something. You can easily do a mimic of your production-ready environment in test. What's the problem? It's with performance. Snowflake, in this case, provide answer. It's called zero-copy clone. In a matter of minutes or seconds, depends on the size of your schema or database, you will get complete prod-ready environment on the fly in a couple of seconds or minutes. You can do your job, you can check performance, you can check actually everything that you have on production, but you have your isolated sandbox. There is no way you can screw up the production if you're smart enough. Once, when you're done, just drop it. One more thing to consider to embrace this approach. If you do a zero copy clone of your database, entire schemas, whatever you want, and change nothing, you will not be charged. You're charged only for change records, which is also cool. I need to change data one table, I will be charged only for that. Everything else is just a logical replication of your original prod ready. In our case, we put everything in pipeline, so based on use case, we do a copy, actually, of our prod ready environment. Once, when merge request is merged and go to production, everything is dropped. So we are lazy and we are efficient. And we created enterprise data platform in mainly open source world. But of course, nothing can happen without people. We defined job grades and family. You can easily find that in our handbook with the data analysts and description of the role and duties. Data scientists, analytics engineers, data engineers, intern, junior, mid-year, senior, staff, etc. And director from junior to senior level, and also director of the data as well. I always want to use this opportunity to showcase from our data science team. I'm data engineer, I'm doing a dirty job. There is not too much fancy to show, but these guys are great. Why? Just a couple of examples so you can feel the taste what our data science team is doing with our data. We have some project called propensity to expand, or PTE, and it gives us the answer in percentage. How likely is one customer to unlock more stage of using of our product? We have 10 stages. If this customer is using 5 stages, how likely is that customer to unlock more stages and buy more license? PTC, or how likely is customer to stay with us and go over to our competitors? You know who they are. I will not mention them, but it's vital for our business to know, okay, these guys will churn or will stay with us. Not all customers are treated or created equally, but we'll treat them in very unique way as a kings and queens. It means based on your properties, when you register to GitLab, in a subtle way, we want to find a proper bucket and categorization for you so we can create a really unique and fine way of communication and messages with you. So actually, that is what these guys are doing. And I think it's very nice to show that to the outer world without go deeply what data engineers are doing. Just move data from one place to another. As a result, we want to think data is everywhere, and we want to be a data-driven company. So this is kind of result of our process. And of course, to have a single source of truth, our discussion starts with the issue. It's collaborative, it's easy to track, it's easy to read the history, and it's really, really easy to move forward and execute the stuff and make things done. Great stuff, at least for us, is a strict process with predefined stages, pre and post requirements, how to move from one stage to another, from defining the requirements, create the mockups, iterate through the models, get the review and feedback, and then deliver the things and start over and over again. As I said, I assume most of you are data professionals, data geeks, and data freaks, and you know ETL, ELT, but we have something called ELTD. And that D stands for documentation. Most boring part of my professional life, but also this is a quick win or long-term win. Why? Whatever you're doing, you should document it properly and well. So it's also a well-established hygiene process in our system to do a proper documentation. Even you're working alone, you will forget actually what you did, so you need to refresh your memory. And this is our single source of truth. Remember, we have a handbook, and everything what you're doing is in handbook, so we can easily refer to that. Whatever is happening, if there is some kind of ambiguity in our system or during our communication process, then we should refer always to our handbook and our documentation as a single source of truth. And of course, to know where we are going and what direction we want to go and how to rock in our team or in our company, we create a very short-term direction what we want to have. Of course, in a long, long range and long term, we want to contribute to open source as a part of strategic approach of the GitLab Data team, know our customer the best as much as possible, and align results with our data value pyramid, as I already mentioned, and stick with our key performance indicators in the data team. Of course, before we close this talk, I want to share some thoughts with you. Maybe just to inspire you, or maybe you can remember it in the future, or maybe you can laugh at me because I'm completely wrong. Who cares? But I want to say, we are not done yet. We always keep work in progress and stick with our values called iteration, go in short steps, small steps, in short toes. We always keep it open. Everything can be improved, definitely. Iterate on your process and move fast, be nimble. But try not to get lost your trajectory and where you're going. So don't go just left, right, back and forth, and just actually staying in one place. Define your process, define your trajectory, and go there very, very quickly. But move in slow steps. In my opinion, DevOps, DevSecOps, and open source are probably the best way to survive today and do your work properly tomorrow. Why? There are plenty of options, but I think these days it's very difficult to create something and don't put it primary as an open core and open source. Of course, you should find a good way and good model you can earn some money and monetize actually what you're doing, of course, because that's why we're here, in a nutshell. But I think we should consider maybe, okay, DevSecOps and open source, there is something and probably will provide you a good, bright future for you. Sometimes there are plenty of shiny, nice new products, frameworks, tools, ideas on the sky, and we want to jump there and do everything in that new, cool, shiny products. But in my opinion, 90% of the problems can be sorted out by 90% of the people. So go for boring solution, also well known as a best practice. In GitLab, we have award on a yearly basis, like something called the most boring guy with the most boring solution. And we get the money if you do something like, okay, this is a best practice, this is good enough, I will do that, and you will be paid as a bonus for that. So sometimes this is more than sufficient. About quality, be very strict and disciplined to keep everything you need to run your project in source control. GitLab, GitHub, whatever you want. S3 bucket, up to you. More stricter when it comes to your testing. And of course, be lazy, pretend you're super lazy, and put everything in the automated process. You can't reach it by yourself. You will always forget something. We are all vulnerable. Automated. There are plenty of tools on the market, and open source Sky, even for free, can do the job for you. Keep your high bar on a high level and make it higher and higher and higher. Cruel. Be very, very cruel when it comes to quality. Don't play with the quality. If you're a little bit experienced, you know how painful can it be, because you will pay somewhere in the middle of production during the night and weekends rather than do that and check everything in the testing. So please, be very cruel to your colleagues, to your teammates, to your shareholders, to your leadership teams. No compromise with this. That's just my opinion. Transparency. You need single source of truth in order to survive. You need something to refer. I'm thinking A, you're thinking B. What is the truth? Truth is there. Create your own single source of truth. In our case, it's called GitLab Handbook. In your case, it can be XYZ, whatever you want. But still, you need something like that. And don't forget to live your values. We have our own. You should define your own, and then enjoy the ride. So let's clarify the first slide, what we are doing. So we are using our product called GitLab to build our product, enterprise data platform, mainly open source, and to analyze the data from our product and make it better, better, and better. And please, everyone can and everyone should contribute. There is space for everyone, so please, whatever you want to discuss, I will be here. Luckily, this is not a Zoom meeting, so let's catch up later and discuss. And before we close everything, this is the way how you should find me, except I'm here today and tomorrow. So if you want to, I don't know, blame me, say this is so boring, you're an asshole, please do so. If you have any nice words for me, more than welcome. And I can't say more than thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I have a great time and hope you have at least great time as I'm here on the stage. So yeah, see you soon, I hope.
Very self-critical, anything but boring. It was anything but boring.
Yep.
While you're having your short water break and preparing for the questions, I will share my concern with you guys. Nobody rated our speakers. How on earth are we supposed to know whom to invite for the next conference? Please take those Slido app out and vote on the speakers if you like their talk. So we know next time whom to invite. And now we have 5 minutes for questions. Yeah, this is how it would look like if you are at the right part. And now we have questions. We have 5 minutes for questions. I will read them out. Yep. Excellent. Love it. How difficult is to be hired at GitLab?
Yeah, it's a very challenging question. Depends, do you like your job or not? This is not for everyone. That's a disclaimer. We are a fully remote company, working 24/7, not 24 hours per day, but actually everywhere around the globe. So I would say it can be difficult, but if you're still passionate about your work, it can be cool. But we're very restrictive. As I said, my use case is we hire one engineer, and finally he accepted the contract with us. But it can be tough because you have 7 to 9 rounds. For more details, go and see into the handbook. But I would say it's between mid and difficult, something like that.
It's faster to become a president. Wow, how is the work-life balance actually?
For me, it's cool, like a dream job. I got a free day to speak in this conference also. Tomorrow I will be off, so more than good, yeah?
Okay, come to GitHub. Okay, GitLab. I'm sorry. No, forget everything I just said. What convinced you to use Monte Carlo compared to other data quality tools?
My manager said, we will use Monte Carlo. I'm kidding. We evaluated a couple of tools. It was Big Eye, Monte Carlo, one more. Not great expectations, and I was for Soda. And we didn't evaluate it because I came into the party a little bit late. So actually, you have evaluation of 3 tools, our pros and cons, our use cases, what can fit us very best. In that case, we determined the Monte Carlo. So usually we have kind of process how to establish or acquire a new tool, but we are still working to improve that process. Like we have something, or we will have something called Tech Radar. I suggest and ignite the discussion like, okay, this is the cycle you should pass in order to implement some new tool in our tech stack. So for Monte Carlo, it was like, okay, this is what we have. This is pros and cons. This is our use case. Is this too expensive? No, we can afford it. Let's go with Monte Carlo. But it's not so cheap, I would say, okay?
Gotcha. What are the best approaches and tactics to introduce the team to the new tools, considering also colleagues without so much technical background?
In our team, generally speaking, we're all passionate, and also we try to explore something, you know, like, oh yeah, I see this, I hate pandas, I found DuckDB, they're here, I think they're cool. Also, Polars can do the thing for you. Let's try something, if you kind of proper use case. But of course, you have a showstopper in form of your manager, and he said, okay, what is the value of that, Radovan? Should we introduce it or not? What is the value for the business? If you can sell that story to the business, like I will provide the value because instead of pandas, if you use DuckDB or Polars, we will be faster, more compliant, reliable, we can deal with data bigger than our operational memory. So yeah, that's the way probably how you should introduce something. When it comes to non-technical guys, that was the second part of the question, sorry for interruption. I don't know, to be honest, because we are a heavy tech department, and you need to find the proper way to speak non-technical in low context fashion to your business, non-technical people in our case, to explain them, okay, this is the value you will get if you switch from one tool to another. You will not see the difference, but in the background, it will pay in the long run. So probably like that.
Thank you. Let's go for the last one. How do you feel working full remote in long term?
As I said, this is not for everyone. It's very specific culture. Onboarding is online. Sometimes coffee chats are online. Most of the things are online. Not all people like to do that. Some like co-located environment, some like to do remote. I'm a remote veteran doing more than 1 decade with small breaks, but I will never get back in the office. I like this. Luckily for us, we have plenty of options to meet our folks, like colleagues from Budapest, or have yearly gatherings, so somehow that's the way how we overcome that loneliness and try to not speak with the pigeons on our window. But still, I like this.
Pigeons can be fun too,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
All right, I'm afraid we are out of time, so let's give a warm hand to Radovan. Thank you so much for your talk.
Thank you very much for
you.
inviting me.